New York's political stage is once again in the national spotlight, as the state prepares for one of its most closely watched gubernatorial races in recent memory. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation, setting the scene for a dramatic showdown that could reshape the state's future. On November 7, 2025, Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik officially announced her candidacy for governor, directly challenging incumbent Democrat Kathy Hochul. This announcement marks the beginning of a high-stakes contest between two powerful figures in New York politics. Stefanik's decision to launch her campaign on social media signals a modern, direct-to-voter approach, bypassing traditional channels and immediately energizing the state's political scene. Her announcement quickly went viral, sparking conversations across New York's diverse communities. This race is historic, pitting two of New York's most prominent women against each other. Each candidate brings a unique background and vision, representing starkly different paths for the state's future. Stefanik frames her campaign as a rescue mission, vowing to address the high cost of living, tackle rising crime rates, and restore what she calls common-sense leadership to Albany. She promises bold reforms and a new direction for New York. Meanwhile, Governor Hochul touts her steady leadership, pointing to her record of results during challenging times. She emphasizes stability, experience, and a commitment to building on the progress her administration has made. But this contest is about more than party lines. It's a battle over New York's identity and its direction for years to come. Voters are weighing not just policies, but the values and priorities that will shape their communities. With the state facing significant economic and social challenges, from struggling businesses and unemployment to concerns about public safety, the outcome of this election will determine who leads New York through turbulent and uncertain times. As campaign volunteers hit the streets and voters prepare to make their voices heard, the question remains, will New Yorkers choose Hochul's experience and steady hand, or will they opt for Stefanik's promise of dramatic change? One thing is certain, the race for governor has just begun, and the eyes of the nation are watching. To truly understand this high-stakes race, it's important to get to know the two women at its center, Elise Stefanik and Kathy Hochul. Their backgrounds, political journeys, and visions for New York couldn't be more different, and those differences are shaping the future of the state. Elise Stefanik made history as the youngest woman ever elected to Congress in 2014. She began her career as a moderate Republican, but over the years, she's transformed into one of Donald Trump's most vocal supporters, quickly climbing the ranks to become a key figure in Republican leadership. Her rise has been marked by a willingness to embrace controversy and take bold stances on national issues. In her district, Stefanik is seen by many as a champion for upstate New York. She's known for advocating for local businesses, pushing for job creation, and prioritizing public safety. Her supporters admire her energy and her ability to bring national attention to regional concerns, believing she's a strong voice for their interests. But Stefanik's sharp turn to the right has drawn criticism. Detractors argue that her embrace of Trumpism is more about political ambition than deeply held beliefs, and they question whether she still represents the moderate values she once championed. On the other side is Kathy Hochul, who became New York's first female governor after Andrew Cuomo's resignation. Hochul's political career began at the local level, serving as a county clerk and then as a member of Congress before stepping into the governor's office. Her ascent was unexpected, but she quickly worked to establish her own leadership style. Hochul faced a tough election in 2022, but she emerged victorious, earning respect for her steady hand during turbulent times. She's focused on rebuilding New York's infrastructure, investing in clean energy, and defending reproductive rights, positioning herself as a pragmatic leader who gets things done. Supporters praise Hochul for her practical approach and her ability to work across the aisle. However, critics from both the left and right argue that she hasn't done enough to address the state's rising cost of living or concerns about crime, leaving some voters searching for stronger solutions. As the campaign heats up, the stark contrast between Stefanik's insurgent conservatism and Hochul's centrist pragmatism is coming into sharp focus. Their competing visions will define not just this race, but the direction New York will take in the years ahead. Stefanik's campaign centers on making New York affordable and safe. She blames Hochul for high taxes, energy costs, and rent, arguing these policies have driven families and businesses away. Public safety is a key theme. Stefanik accuses Hochul of being soft on crime and promises to reverse bail reforms and support law enforcement. Her rhetoric is fiery, casting the race as a fight against tax-hiking communist policies and the state's leftward drift. Stefanik pledges sweeping tax cuts, reduced spending, and deregulation to revive the economy. She frames her candidacy as a crusade to restore New York's greatness, not just tweak the status quo. Her message, only bold conservative leadership can fix what's broken. This vision of dramatic change is designed to energize voters frustrated with the current direction. Stefanik's campaign will hammer these themes as she seeks to unseat Hochul. Governor Hochul's campaign wasted no time countering Stefanik's attacks. Hochul's team ties Stefanik directly to Donald Trump, calling her his right-hand woman and warning of Trump-style chaos in Albany. They launched selloutstefanik.com and digital ads highlighting Stefanik's votes on healthcare, tariffs, and education. Hochul touts her own record middle-class tax cuts, infrastructure investments, and a green energy push. She positions herself as a steady, pragmatic leader focused on real solutions, not partisan warfare. On crime, Hochul points to stronger gun laws and increased law enforcement funding, arguing for a balanced approach. By contrasting her governance with Stefanik's extremism, Hochul aims to convince voters she's the only candidate ready to lead New York. The campaign will be a battle of records and alliances, with each side seeking to define the other. Stefanik's campaign is inseparable from her alliance with Donald Trump. Trump's endorsement gives her credibility with the GOP base and has helped clear the primary field. However, this connection is a double-edged sword. While it secures Republican support, it's a liability in deep blue New York. Democrats are already using her Trump ties as their main attack line, betting it will turn off suburban and urban voters. Stefanik embraces Trump's backing, believing his message on the economy and crime still resonates. She's gambling that voter frustration will outweigh concerns about her Trump connection. The 2026 race will test whether Trump-style politics can win in New York. Before the general election, both Stefanik and Hochul may face primary challenges. Republican Bruce Blakeman, a moderate, could force a primary, arguing his centrist approach is more electable statewide. Stefanik has most party endorsements, but lacks support in key swing areas like Long Island, Blakeman's base. On the Democratic side, Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado may challenge Hochul from the left, exposing party divisions. Progressives criticize Hochul for not going far enough on climate, housing, and justice reform. These primaries could shape the final candidates and campaign themes, testing each party's direction. The outcome will reveal whether New York wants bold change or steady leadership. Early polls show Hochul with a commanding lead, 52% to Stefanik's 27%, highlighting the uphill battle for any Republican in New York. The state's large Democratic advantage means Stefanik must win over independents and some Democrats to compete. Her Trump ties help in a primary but hurt in a general election, according to the data. Stefanik's team argues these numbers will shift as her campaign message spreads and voter frustration grows. Hochul's camp sees the polls as validation of their strategy to paint Stefanik as an extremist. Both sides know much can change in a year, and the campaign will be about defining each other and winning over the middle. The polls will be a key barometer as the race heats up. The question, can Stefanik close the gap, or will Hochul maintain her advantage? The race for New York's highest office has sparked passionate reactions from both political leaders and everyday voters across the state. From the bustling streets of Manhattan to the quieter towns upstate, New Yorkers are voicing strong opinions about the candidates and the future direction of their state. Stefanik's supporters, including prominent figures like GOP Chairman Ed Cox, describe her as a unifier and a relentless fighter. They believe she has the energy and vision to finally break the Democrats' long-standing grip on Albany, and they see her as someone who can bring fresh ideas to the table. But her critics, such as House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, are just as vocal. They label her a handmaiden for Trump's most extreme policies, arguing that her positions are out of step with the values held by many New Yorkers. For them, Stefanik represents a sharp turn away from the state's progressive traditions. Supporters counter that Stefanik's focus on affordability, lower taxes, and public safety is exactly what New York needs right now. They point to rising costs and concerns about crime as reasons why her message is resonating with a broad swath of voters. On the other side, Governor Kathy Hochul's allies tout her as a steady, effective leader. They highlight her investments in infrastructure. her commitment to protecting reproductive rights, and her ability to keep the state moving forward during challenging times. Yet Hochul faces criticism from multiple directions. Some on the right call her a tax and spend liberal, blaming her for high taxes and government spending. Meanwhile, progressive activists argue she's been too cautious on urgent issues like climate change and affordable housing, saying she hasn't gone far enough to address these crises. Both candidates are under intense pressure, not just from the opposition, but from within their own parties. The debates and disagreements reflect the complexity and diversity of New York's political landscape, where no single viewpoint dominates. As the campaign heats up, endorsements from key figures, sharp attack ads, and the ability to unite diverse coalitions will all play a crucial role in shaping the race. The outcome may hinge on which candidate can build the broadest and most energized base of support. Ultimately, New York's next governor will have to balance competing demands and govern a deeply divided state, one where every decision is sure to be closely watched, debated, and remembered. The 2026 governor's race is a turning point for New York. Hochul offers continuity, progressive taxes, social programs, and steady government. Stefanik promises a sharp break, tax cuts, deregulation, and tough-on-crime policies. A Stefanik win would signal a dramatic shift, showing even New York isn't immune to the conservative wave. The election is a referendum on affordability, safety, and the state's identity. Voters must choose between two starkly different visions for the future. The winner will shape New York's direction for years to come. For nearly 20 million New Yorkers, the stakes couldn't be higher.